Schiller wins 3-1 over Burke from Iowa to make the finals, and here they are, the #1 and the #2 seeds going for the 197-pound championship. And March Madness means a lot in the Big Ten, and you talked about it in the opening, Jim, that the conference just likes to be good at everything. They commit to every sport. This year in the Big Ten basketball championships, they could end with a 4-way tie at the top, and here we are with a 3-way battle for the championship all afternoon in wrestling. A lot of parity and a lot of championship caliber programs in the Big Ten.
I love this conference's commitment to all sports. It's exciting to be a part of, and a lot of great stories are being told in this conference, including the story of Quentin Wright, returning national champion, #1 seed in this tournament, and won a championship a couple of years ago at 184 pounds. And you know, once you're a champion, you return as a champion.
There you go.
You never lose that.
You never learn. You're a returning champion once you win. And my partner Jim Gibbons is a returning champion every time you hear from him. A champion wrestler and coach at Iowa State. And you're right, Quentin Wright's had quite a career. He was an All-American as a freshman, then redshirted, then won an NCAA championship and got second last year at 184 pounds to Bosak from Cornell.
The other thing that he's wrestling, Scott Schiller, 12-match win streak, and in this conference, that's saying something. He's done a nice job here. He's been part of that National Duels Championship that Gophers are hosting. Hoisting that trophy, and I think he's done as much of an improvement of anybody on the Minnesota team. I mean, take a look at him here, and he's got to be careful with Quentin Wright. You can't push into him too much. You're going to be part of a highlight reel for the conference championships, but he's been very active with his feet, and he's been decisive on when he wants to go ahead and attack, been good in all positions, and he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Well, Scott Schiller out of Fargo, North Dakota. He is West Fargo, North Dakota, and won 3 North Dakota state titles. Became highly recruited as one of the top wrestlers in his weight class as a senior by Intermat. IntermatWrestle.com for all your ranking needs and wants, team and individuals. Quentin Wright, as you talked about, really having a great year, 26-0, and he's learned how to win the close ones. He's a big move wrestler, but he won 1-0 in the semifinals, and he knows his way to the finals in whatever tournament he's in.
Well, when you're a tournament wrestler, you put up you've got a belt, so to speak. You've got a tournament belt in NCAAs and with the Big Tens. Is that you don't get there by just being good in one phase. And you've got to be good. You got to close out periods in the top position, and you've got to be able to have a go-to shot. You've got to be able to get out, as we've seen in the last match where Kevin Steinhaus kept himself in that match by going ahead and getting quick escapes. You've got to go ahead and have great defense on the feet. We saw that with all the guys that were champions here to this point. So one thing that Quentin Wright has that most guys don't have, and win some of those titles, he's got the big move capabilities, much like Dylan Ness. I mean, he's got a great set of hips that if you go ahead and take a good shot on him, that it's about 50% of the battle. The rest of it's dealing with his hips in a counter position and his ability to throw.
End of the first period, the score is 0-0. There was no takedown. Scott Schiller from Minnesota picks down, and there's your team standings, 147 for Penn State, 12 points out in front. Well, what that means is Minnesota has 2 wrestlers left. If each of them win by pin, that's 12 points, 6 each. So mathematically, Penn State has wrapped up at least a share of the title, and Quentin Wright here has to be pinned by Scott Schiller for Minnesota to have an opportunity. If that did happen, Minnesota's defending national champion, Tony Nelson, comes on at heavyweight. It's a long shot, but Penn State has wrapped up at least a share with that 12-point lead with 2 weight classes left.
What I see from it's a good sign that this match is going to get opened up pretty quick, and it's Quentin Wright really working hard here off those ties. And Schiller's not having, now straight on, freight train double, boom, 2 points for Quentin Wright. Set that up so well. It was set up by the last sequence where it was all upper body, but this time he goes, see, he's up high. He thinks he's going to go in for an underhook, but he drops in at that leg level here, goes all the way through. He's set up perfectly. And that was from the sequence of the last exchange. He went for the underhook last time, and then he dropped his level and went lower, and Schiller was thinking he was going to go tie up upper body, but no, he went for the double.
Schiller out with an escape, makes the score 2-2.
Good pitch sequence there by experienced national champion.
Schiller, like Steinhaus, has been was has had a great year so far since losing at the Southern Scuffle. So Schiller on a roll right now, winning 12 in a row. There's Nola Wright, mother of Quentin. They're right up the road, Bald Eagle High School, right up the road from Happy Valley. So he's a local boy, make good, and desire to be a Nittany Lion all his life, and all he's done is going to become one of the very few four-time All-Americans if he accomplishes that this year.
Like nice little drag there, following through. When he gets the angle right there, he really commits. Again, what I like about Quentin Wright, good defense on the feet, uses his hips to be able to throw, works the head, has a good straight-on shot. It's all the qualities of a champion. Some guys, you sit there, Tim, and you go, well, you know, he can do this and he can do that, but he can't. He doesn't have the full array, and a lot of times those guys don't get past the quarters or the semis because you will be tested in those 4 positions I talked about sometime during the course of the tournament. Maybe not in every match, but sometimes during the course of the tournament, like the semifinals where he won 1-0.
Quentin Wright chooses down to begin the 3rd period. It's 2-2. There's no riding time.
Nice, beautiful standing switch, gets the hips out.
And the escape for 1 goes out in front. Quentin Wright does 3-2, up by a point, same amount of that he won by in the semifinals. Quentin Wright up a weight class, and there's the freight train double again, and another 2 points.
Just great move right there. Again, set up by the upper body ties, and then he drops lower. Just attacks through. That's used to call that a Japanese double, where you basically get in a low stance and just explode and dive at the guy. The great Olympic wrestlers and use that technique here. Straight on freight train double. Lower the level. Get your chest over your knees and explode with both legs, shoelaces up, and just follow it through.
Cale Sanderson having a great finals for his Nittany Lions. If Quentin Wright can hold on here, it'll be 4 in a row for Penn State. And if they do the 4 in a row thing at the NCAAs, they'll be hard to beat.
They will. I mean, they've got the talent, they've got the youth. I've been impressed with both Minnesota and Iowa here. Of course, Iowa with the dual meet season that they've had, and the University of Minnesota particularly winning it with the national duels. They were really explosive, and I don't think any team walks away from this tournament in the top 3 in this tournament saying, you know, or even, you know, Ohio State for that matter, their ability to think that they can go ahead and get a trophy and necessarily compete for a national title, because a lot of this gets diluted out. It's going to be the next layer of guys, not your Q Wrights, not your Ed Ruths, and we know what we expect from David Taylor, but it's going to be the next layer of guys, how they perform, and that's the variable.
And then you add in Cornell, and you add in Oklahoma State, and you bring in the rest of the country, and the Big Ten will fare very, very well. But it's whether you are more than Big Ten champions that will decide the NCAA championship. And Penn State has shown that they have been with 3 of these 4 that are winning today. Matt Brown, it'll be his first trip to the NCAAs.
And you've got to get through the minefield of all the other smaller programs and lesser ranked programs that may have a guy that's out there wrestling hot in that tournament format on Thursday. So the action on Thursday at the NCAA finals is going to be great to watch. Nice job by Schiller getting in the leg.
Trying to tie it up. If he can score right here at the end, and the time runs out. Good effort by Schiller. The time runs out, and Quentin Wright wins the championship. The 3-time All-American just won his 2nd Big Ten title. Penn State wins the team title with that win outright, their 3rd in a row.